Hey, Lightworkers. So this lesson is called "There is a blessing for that." There is a blessing for that. And we all have our idea of what a blessing is, right? A blessing seems pretty simple, like if somebody sneezes and we say, "Bless you," or if somebody does us a solid, okay, like they do something big, they maybe somebody house sat for you and babysat your dogs and kept them safe, so you tell them like, oh my gosh, you're such a blessing, right? Because what they did for you was something bigger than just a oh thanks. Right, it was even bigger than that. But did you know that blessing transforms the giver as well as the receiver? And so today I want to talk about that, the transformative quality of the blessing on ourselves, and then when and how to give a blessing. So, blessing does transform us. It contains a transcendent quality because we have to be able to dive deep into forgiveness and compassion. And we all know that that is not always an easy thing to do. I even recently ran into somebody and I hadn't seen them in like a year. And they had done something that to me it felt like a betrayal. And I thought I forgave them. And when I saw them, I was like, no, I guess I didn't really forgive this person because what what wanted to come out of my mouth was there's so much that is your fault. Like I wanted to blame and point my finger. I didn't. I just said, hey, take care, and I walked away. But I just realized, wow, okay, I still have some forgiveness work to do on this person. So the Dalai Lama says this about blessing. Okay, blessing is, and this is from the Buddhist perspective, that it must come from our own mind, and we must shift we have to shift negative thinking into positive thinking, and this is how we transform into our magnificent potential. Now in unity we would talk about this also, that we're shifting our consciousness from negative thinking to positive thinking. Of course, this isn't always just an easy, like, oh, I guess I'm just going to think positive thought. We can't always do that. Most of the time, probably it's really hard to do that. And so, in the unity philosophy or new thought philosophy, we think about, okay, I'm going to align with my inner being. I'm going to harmonize my thoughts with the thoughts of the divine. And this is what causes the shift in consciousness. And it may not feel like a sudden shift, but it might feel like a sudden shift too. So it's this shift in consciousness that helps us deal with our pain and helps us to be able to let go, right? So we can let go of the feelings of rage or criticism, judgmentalness, right? Any kind of conflict in our heart that ends up being the cause of our suffering, right? That the shift in consciousness, harmonizing our thoughts with the divine, is what helps us to let go of that. Now, Charles Fillmore, Unity founder, says blessing calls forth the action of God. Action of God. This is the movement of spirit. Okay, this is calling forth inspiration and ideas, healing, miracles, right? The shift in consciousness moves us out of suffering and into solutions, right? So there's a blessing in the blessing right there. But now here's something else interesting. Blessing also has physical effects on us. The act of blessing releases the life affirming hormones of DHEA. There are scientific studies that they've proven already that prolonged hate, rage, judgmentalness, they affect us on a cellular level, okay, in our cells and in our DNA. Now, our DNA and our cells are in direct communication with our feelings, right? With our feelings. The body will then create a matching chemistry to those feelings, okay? I don't know about you, but I don't really want my chemistry to be based off of rage or criticism or hatred. Like, who wants that kind of chemistry? So, we are either releasing the life affirming hormones of DHEA into our system, or we are releasing life denying hormones of cortisol, right? And it just depends on, it depends really on our level of consciousness or our state of consciousness. Okay, so if we are able to perform the act of blessing, it means our thoughts are harmonized with the thoughts of the divine, and we are releasing those life affirming hormones of DHEA. So physically, we're actually going to feel better when we are somebody who blesses others. We will physically feel better. And then, of course, if we are blessing others, this is how we are a love amplifier and a grace generator, right? Because we are aligned with our inner being. We're aligned with the spirit within. Okay, so when to bless? So those are the benefits of blessing. So how about when to bless? Well, you can give a blessing anytime you want to, okay? But particularly bless somebody if they did you a solid. If they showed up for you in a big way, give them a blessing, okay? Or if you know somebody who has experienced pain or trauma, give them a blessing. If you have experienced pain or trauma, bless yourself. Give yourself a blessing. Okay, so that's when we bless. We can bless whenever we want to, and really for anything, right? If anybody is struggling or suffering in any way, if we are struggling or suffering in any way, give a blessing. Give a blessing. So how do we bless? How do we bless? Now, teacher Yeshua the Christ, he taught that we transcend our hurts through the wisdom of our heart. But to access the wisdom of our heart, we have to be willing to remove ourselves from the kind of judgmentalness where we get offended. So if we're offended, if we have arrogance in our heart, like we need to be right and we want to set somebody straight, or if we feel like somebody just needs to be punished, I need my retribution, I want my eye for an eye, we may not be in a space where we can actually give a blessing because we can't access the wisdom of our heart. And we're going to be cutting ourselves off from that, right? We don't want to cut ourselves off from the wisdom of our hearts. No. So there is a prerequisite to giving a blessing, if you would like to know that. And that prerequisite is that we first ask ourselves, can I accept this situation as it is right now? Now, when we ask ourselves, can we accept this situation? This doesn't mean we have to tolerate. This doesn't mean we have to give up. Accepting our situation simply gives us a starting point. That's all. Like if you are where you are and you want to fly across the country, okay, you're on one coast and say you want to fly across the country, you would have to know like where you start if you're going to buy a plane ticket. Like I'm in Southern California, so if I wanted to fly across the country, I wouldn't buy my plane ticket like from Georgia to New York because it's a cheaper flight. I have to start at the airport that is nearest where I live. So accepting a current situation only means we're observing it and it is giving us a starting point. This isn't a bad situation that we have to make ourselves tolerate or stay in, okay? And then we want to ask, am I willing to move past it? Now, when I ran into this person not too long ago and I realized I hadn't forgiven them, I asked myself the question, okay, can I accept that this happened? I could. But then when I asked, am I willing to move past this? I got a big fat no. No, I was not willing to move past it. So then, of course, I had to ask why. I had to do a little bit of reflection on this. And what I came up with was, I don't want to move past this because right now, the struggle that I'm in, I can blame all of it on this one person. I can blame all of it on them. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, whew, okay. Well, I don't want to stay stuck there, right? And so maybe you might want to ask yourself, can I let go of my need for payback? Can I let go of my need for justice, right? And getting some big fat retribution in this circumstance. The thing about resistance is when we are in resistance, we want the thing to change and it won't. It's not going to. But we keep wanting it to change anyway. All right? We keep wanting it to change anyway. So if we're not ready, we're just not ready. And then you know what we do? We bless ourselves. That's where we go first. We bless ourselves. But then it becomes our charge to find out why we are not willing to let go of those feelings, right? Why aren't I willing to let go of these feelings that are causing me suffering? And then, okay, and this is a big one, then we see our life as a divine directive. And we see the current situation that we are in as a sacred assignment. All right? Your life is a divine directive, and the situation you are in right now is your sacred assignment. Okay, so it was about this point then I gave myself a new affirmation to say in the morning, and it was a divine directive. I am here to create heaven on earth. I am here to create heaven on earth. Through my way of thinking and acting, I am here to create heaven on earth. I align my thoughts with my inner being. I harmonize with the divine because I am here to create heaven on earth. Now, how do I want to show up for all this? If I'm here to create heaven on earth, how do I want to show up for this? Right? How do I want to show up for this? Right? I also go to the unity principles. Okay, God is all things, and that means me. We create our experiences through our way of thinking and acting. Positive affirmations, affirmative prayer, meditation aligns us with the divine within. And it's not enough to just know this. We have to live this truth. All right? Then this is what gets me prepared to bless, to align my thoughts with the divine. Okay, so this is where we start with how to bless. Then, like, who do we bless? Okay, of course we can bless ourselves. We can start with that. But then when we're getting ready to give the blessing, we can bless those who suffer. And when we bless those who suffer, it could be people we know and love. It could be ourselves. But it might be people that we only know of. Like if you've seen something on social media, okay? And so you can start by blessing them. And a very simple blessing could be, may you be healed and guided. May you know and have the deep understanding how beloved you are to the universe. And may you have awareness of your true divine nature. Okay? Then next we want to bless the witness, because someone witnessed the suffering, and witnessing the suffering can also be traumatizing. As you well know, if you've seen any of these horrible pictures and videos that are so heartbreaking on social media, you have been traumatized by this. Okay? But see, the thing about the witness is they must reconcile the pain. Okay, they must reconcile the pain. And so again, a simple blessing. May you be healed and guided. May you have awareness that you are truly and deeply loved by the divine. And may you have awareness of your true nature. And then the last blessing, and this is not always easy. Usually it's not. But we want to bless whoever or whatever caused the suffering. Right? Bless who caused the suffering. Now, if you're like me, you might ask, well, why would I want to bless the person that hurt me? Why would I want to bless that person that betrayed me or that betrayed my friend? Why would I want to bless a group of people who are making the lives of another group of people a living hell? Why would I want to bless them. Now, the Apostle Paul, he said something in the book of Romans. Bless them which persecute you. Bless them and curse them not. Bless them and curse them not. Do you remember when you give a blessing, it transforms your cells and your DNA because you're releasing the life-affirming hormones of DHEA, right? Because when you give a blessing, the beauty and vibration of that blessing radiate through you first before they go out to that person. That's why it affects you on a cellular level. That's why it affects your DNA. What do you think is happening in your body when you curse somebody? When you wish someone the very worst? Okay, yeah, maybe they deserve it. But what do you think is happening in your body when you curse them? Okay, so when we don't bless the cause of the suffering, our hearts can remain in conflict. We can remain in conflict and we can get stuck in that trap of judgmentalness. And then we can't access the wisdom of the heart. Okay? Now, I have a really simple blessing that I like to do every morning. And it's just this. I'll imagine somebody I love and I'll close my eyes, I'll imagine them, and I will say in my imagination or out loud, I love you, I love you, I love you. You are blessed by light and love. You are blessed by divine source energy. You are blessed by light and love. You are blessed by divine source energy. You are blessed by light and love. You are blessed by divine source energy. Okay, so there's a really simple blessing. Now, I change this blessing a little if it is somebody that I'm mad at or I don't like, and I'm just trying to forgive them and work on it. I will say, instead of saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I will say, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved. You are blessed by light and love. You are blessed by divine source energy. Okay? So here's our call to action for this week. Our call to action. We'll start with an affirmation, and I'll say it 3 times. I harmonize my thoughts with the divine. I harmonize my thoughts with the divine. I harmonize my thoughts with the divine. Because this is a great starting point, right? For anything we want to do. If we want to call forth the good, if we want to expand our territory, right? If we want to give a blessing, if we want to show up in our lives and the lives of our family in a big way, this is where we always start. I harmonize my thoughts with the divine, right? So that we are surrendered to divine will, which is calling forth greater things. Now, Charles Fillmore said this: blessing imparts the quickening spiritual power that produces growth and increase. It is the power of multiplication. Blessing is the power of multiplication. Blessing amplifies and expands the good. Right? So when we give a blessing, this is another way we expand the good in our lives. This is a way we expand our territory. And it trains us to harmonize our thoughts with the divine, right? It's training us to always be aligned with our inner being. We bless ourselves. We bless our family, right? We bless the people that we love, our community, and we're expanding our area of influence. We're expanding the ways and the people and the lives that we can call forth the good, and it can touch them in some way, right? It can benefit them in some way. So here's your invitation. What do you want to multiply in your life and in the life of your loved ones? And that's what you want to bless, right? What do you want to multiply? What do you want to expand? What do you want to increase? Consciousness, right? Greater consciousness, physical health, prosperity, love, relationships, okay? We bless ourselves and we bless others, and the transformative effect of the blessing radiates out into our lives. Okay, it's radiating out into our lives. Blessing ourselves, blessing each other. Okay, blessing, blessing, blessing. This is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. In everything you do, you are blessed. You are blessed. And so it is. So it is.